The title of this Wow This Week is Beware the Sixth Sense. As those of you know who might have sold your house, one of the recommendations real estate brokers make is to have cookies or bread baking to, make your house a home. And let people who walk through think their life will be picture perfect once they buy your house. The Cinnabon and Subway are doing the exact same thing. When they blast that kind of fresh baking smell out onto the street, the idea is to make your chain store seem like your neighborhood bakery. A lot of other people activate different senses to help sell you things. And we all know when the stores that carry the $150 t-shirts are usually playing the incredibly loud rock music. Because if you buy that t-shirt, you will be a rock star, of course. And the same thing is true with when they're blasting the icy air out onto the sidewalk. The whole idea is to suck you in. So they've learned to activate or to appeal to all five senses, but I'm going to talk today about your sixth sense. And no, I'm not talking about seeing dead people. I'm talking about your sense of shame. And you might say to yourself, well, okay, how is shame used in a selling environment? One way is restaurants is they've discovered, most high-priced wines don't need to be decanted, and yet many, restaurants will decant the fine wines at the table. And what they realized is that this whole production makes everybody at the surrounding tables order more expensive things because, they don't want to look like a schmuck in front of their date. So, they'll get an extra bottle of wine, or they'll say, oh, have a dessert. So there's that whole theater going on. Another place that you see it very frequently is in the wedding and funeral industries. We all know the size of the diamond directly correlates to how much he loves you. Not. And in the funeral industry, they always put the most expensive coffins out in front of the shop because everyone will be there. And they have less expensive coffins in the back, but they don't have those out front. And in case you think I'm being cynical, just no, we did 10 rounds with the funeral director when my dad died because, we didn't want to pay the $750 makeup charge because my father's casket was going to be closed. So what can you do if you are in a situation where you think your sense of shame is being activated? Fastest, easiest way, just say, how much does that cost? What it does is it sends two messages. One is what this should cost in another environment. And two, it just shows that you are not being intimidated by the theater of the moment. Do I recommend trying to activate people's sense of shame in a selling environment? I do not. I think that, for every customer you may get to spend a little more, you're going to lose a whole bunch because they're going to be so uncomfortable. So what can you do instead? Abraham Lincoln, in a meeting environment, always insisted on a round table. Because, he wanted to send the message that he didn't think he was the most important person in the room. That's one thing you could do in meetings. If you have an environment where people are buying and selling actively, you want to have scripts and tools in place for your staff. So for instance, have a script that says if multiple customers come in simultaneously, you can say to the new customer, I'm working with this gentleman now. I'll be finished in 2 minutes. In the interim, here's a chair where you can, a seating area where you can wait. In this instance, the tool is the chair. And then, have a backup plan in case your current client takes longer than 2 minutes so that you can summon someone to help the person who's waiting. All of these things are going to send your customers out into the world talking about what a marvelous experience they had rather than how, possibly ashamed they might have been. I hope this is helpful. Thank you.